Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting and give you my opinion on them. Today, this includes, is YouTube TV a cable TV service? Local TV station owners want to force it to become a cable TV service. We'll talk about why that's important, what's happening, and how Hulu's sale is impacting that. Bally Sports is making some big changes, reportedly out there, and they may have a new owner very soon that has an old name. We'll tell you who that new owner may be. And another major cable TV company is making big cutbacks, shutting down in some countries and more, or cable TV network. We'll tell you about all these stories and more. And at the end of this video, I'll break down why a la carte TV just hasn't become a thing. It's one of the most common questions I get. And then in this video, I'm going to answer your question right here in this video. So with that said, if you want to learn more about these stories, check out the show notes down below and in the first pinned comment. I'll put a link to each story there so you can read about them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. If you're new here or you've been here a while, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. YouTube then recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow and hopefully helping you break free from the high cost of TV, but still watch the shows you enjoy. All right, let's dive into it. Starting off with, should services like YouTube TV, Hulu, Fubo, and more be cable TV companies? Well, for months now, local TV station owners, ABC, NBC, Fox, the local affiliates that own those local stations, not the big networks, are trying to get the FCC to force them into becoming a cable TV company. That will allow them to basically negotiate directly with YouTube TV, Hulu, and more, and hopefully in the eyes of these local owners, get more money. Currently, the way the system works, because Hulu, YouTube TV, and more are considered cable TV companies, Paramount, Disney, and more can strike big, massive deals that allow Fubo, YouTube TV, and more to have access to all the locals under one contract. Now, locals want it to be flipped over to become the other way, where they're going to be just like cable TV companies. The FCC will regulate them more closely. They'll have to pay more fees to the FCC, which may drive up your price and more. Well, local TV station owners came out to talk about Hulu. Now, this week it was announced that Disney will become the sole owner of Hulu by the end of the month of November, and that will mean that Comcast will no longer have any control. They said this is one more example of why these companies need to be regulated as cable TV companies. To say that's one less company owning these. It's one less option out there. I firmly disagree with that because Hulu is just going to continue to operate like it is. I think there's more options than ever. When it used to be you just had cable, a satellite, or two services, and an antenna, and that's all your options for local. Now you have cable, satellite, maybe a fiber TV option. I know that's kind of rare. It's not very big anymore. But then you also have YouTube, Hulu, Fubo, Sling TV, Vidgo if it comes back online, we'll see, and more, all vying for your entertainment options. Without those, you can also get an antenna. So I think there's more options. But they're arguing, really, it's not about the viewer's choice, I believe, like they talk about. They're all like, hey, we have to protect local news, and these companies could shut down and now offer locals that would hurt us. Really, what they're worried about is they want more money. When Fubo renewed its CBS deal, many companies were very unhappy with it and pulled their feeds from it. And then CBS just replaced the local feeds with a national feed that offered the same programming minus local news and local other programming. And I think that's what this is really about. This is about money. We'll have to keep a close eye on this. They're trying to get Congress involved in this, try to force it. There's some senators that are already supporting the push to reclassify these companies as cable TV companies. We'll see how it all plays out, but we'll have full coverage here at CordCuttersNews.com. If you want your voice to be heard, contact the FCC. Contact your representatives. Be polite, be kind, but let them know what you think about the effort to turn these into cable TV companies. All right, lots of news. Let's race through it. Bally Sports may have a new owner and what may be one of the most interesting company flips, but Sinclair reportedly wants to buy back Bally Sports, according to a New York Post story. Now, Sinclair bought what was Fox Regional Sports Networks and later renamed to Bally Sports for $9.6 billion back in 2019. Now they want to buy it back for $850 million. That's it, just $850 million. And reportedly may not come with all the debt that it currently has, which is like $8 billion in debt right now. So after 2020, everything that happened there hurt sports. These networks started rapidly going into debt, have issues. Sinclair spun it off into an independent company called the Diamond Sports Group. So they kind of weirdly run it. They get paid management fees from that company, and then Sinclair employees run that mostly. But now they want to buy it back, but without the debt. So basically, they spun it off, put it in bankruptcy, now trying to buy it back for a fraction of the price. We'll see if this gets approved or not. Details are still thin on it. We're looking very closely at this. But Bally Sports may once again be owned and operated by Sinclair, not just operated and an independent company. We'll see. All right, Starz is shutting down in 2 countries and laying off staff. Now, Starz is about to be spun off from Lionsgate into an independent company. Again, Starz is, like most cable TV companies, struggling with the world of cord cutting that we see in 2023. And now they've announced in Australia and the UK, they will shut down operations and lay off about 10% of its staff across the company. We'll see what this means. I know they have a few big hits like Outlander there. We'll see what this means for international distribution. They'll probably just resell the rights to those shows to other networks or other streaming services in those affected countries, not impacting the United States. All right, let's talk about the overall status of streaming. It was a good third quarter for several streaming services. Fubo came out and announced they added 310,000 subscribers. Now, this is a nice turnaround. They've been losing some subscribers recently. They're not alone. Most streaming services, most cable companies that are live TV services have lost subscribers. So, good move here. Fubo definitely benefited from the Spectrum Disney fight. Spectrum gave Fubo partner for a special deal for Spectrum customers. I'm sure that helped. It wasn't a very long blackout, so I'm not sure how much it helped, but they got a 2-month deal there. Also, the start of NFL and college football, I'm sure, helped. And even though it wasn't right at the end, the preseason may have started, I think, for NHL. But even though at the very beginning of the fourth quarter, it was when basketball and NHL started, I'm sure the lead up to the NBA and more helped in the third quarter to bring in subscribers. We'll have to see what happens here in the long run. But great news for Fubo. Huge turnaround. Continue to lower the costs there. Still, will be interesting. I don't know if there's a date or really clear roadmap for when they're going to become profitable, but this is a huge step forward. Lowering costs, returning to positive growth and subscriber counts in North America. We'll keep a very close eye on this, but good job for Fubo. And one more sign that, hey, you know, could also be one of the things I talk about a lot is about rotating services, right? Maybe a lot of people canceled Fubo after football, after basketball season last year. Now that that is over, they're bringing it back and they're signing back up to be subscribers because basketball and football and hockey are back once again. Speaking of other streaming services that did well, AMC added 100,000 streaming customers to AMC Plus, Shudder, and more. This comes after they lost 500,000 subscribers earlier. Huge turnaround. The ad-supported plan probably helped. Fall television probably helped. Some aggressive promos and marketing probably helped with that. But a nice overall jump. Streaming revenues are now $142 million, a 9% increase over the same period in 2022. Again, after early drops in some streaming, we're seeing turnarounds. And what's interesting is, even though some streaming services have lost subscribers, they're not going back to cable. Cable's losing subscribers faster than ever. All right, let's keep moving along. If you're looking to save money and maybe switch to T-Mobile, they've made it easier. For a while on iOS, you could download an app and use the eSIM feature to sign up for T-Mobile prepaid service without ever needing to go in a store, without ever needing to buy anything. Now this has come to Android, and you can now sign up for Androids through the Android app for T-Mobile. Switch to T-Mobile right through the app. Never talk to an agent. Never go in the store. Do it all on the app. A really cool feature there. So check that out. Link in the show notes if you want to do that. And last story up of the day, the cost of cable TV could be going up because of streaming. Now, this is an interesting one. We've seen this a lot lately. A lot of cable TV companies in the earnings call came out and said, hey, we are going to be bundling streaming services into our main package. We saw that with Disney and Spectrum, where Disney agreed to drop 8 channels and bundle Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. Well, now Paramount has come out and said they've struck similar deals, but unlike Disney, they're not agreeing to drop any channels. This raises the big question, who's going to be paying for these? Well, we've already had Spectrum talk about adding a ton of services. Well, if you add all the services, you're not talking about $30 additional cost. Even if you get a wholesale discount of 50% off that, that's still $15. Who's covering that fees? Historically, with cable TV, that's the end customer, you. we'll be covering that. So the question is, how will cable be able to offer all these cable channels and all these streaming services without driving up costs? We'll have to keep a close eye on this, but clearly the cost of cable TV could be going up soon because of streaming. If you want to learn more about this, check out the show notes down below. All right, let's dive into the question of the day, and I get this one a lot. Why can't cable TV companies just develop a way to let users pick which channels they want? Why do they need to offer big bundles? How come I can't pick 10 channels? And there's been a few efforts to this where you could pick from a limited lineup of channels. Spectrum does it, but you couldn't pick from all their channels. It was very limited. You had to pay X amount, and it was kind of expensive compared to some other options. Well, there's a big reason for that, and that's not because cable companies don't want to do that. And I'll get to the second half of the question here in a second. The reality is, it's the networks. So it's Disney, for example, saying, hey, you want ESPN? Well, you also need Disney. You need this channel, FX, this channel, this channel, this channel. You can't just offer ESPN alone in its own package, which is funny because Disney is working on a service that will do just that later in a few years probably. But for now, if you're Spectrum Comcast and you want to offer AMC, Warner channels, and more, you have to agree to a big bundle of them or they won't give you any. And we've seen this before. It was part of the reason why Disney channels went dark in Spectrum for a while, because they weren't able to just get the channels they wanted. A lot back and forth. So I'm sure cable TV companies would love to do that. The second part of this question you asked is, why don't they just get rid of the hidden fees and market the true price and help? Probably because the true price is significantly higher than a lot of the marketing. Comcast, for example, charges over $40 for regional sports networks and local broadcast TV fees on top of the advertised price. And then there's device fees and all kinds of other things that add in. They're probably worried if they just listed the true price, it would be difficult to compete with streaming options out there. Now, there are bills out there and proposed rules and laws that would force them to do that, to not have the hidden fees. We'll see how this all plays out in the future, but that's the reason why they can't offer a la carte. A lot of people have tried and struck deals, but the networks have basically said, hey, but if we do that, some of our less popular networks would go under. We don't want that, so you have to bundle them all together. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. If you have a question like this you want me to answer, leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Maybe your question be answered in tomorrow's video. Take care, everybody.